What is happening, everybody? I hope you're all well, and welcome on back to Dragon Age Inquisition. As always, if you're new here or haven't yet, please do subscribe, leave a like and a comment, and of course, if you want to catch up on the rest of the Let's Play so far, go ahead and check the description below. I'll have the whole series down there in order for everybody. We have an Inquisition perk. I actually wasn't aware of that. Let's take a look. What did we not have? Not interested in the schematics at all. Maybe the 5% bonus XP, since I'm worried about min-maxing at this point to see how high of the level I can push it up. Opens up dialogue, options related to history and the chantry. Adds one more potion slot for all party members. What is exclusive training? Gain one combat ability point for the Inquisitor only. You know, is this, oh it is, yeah, it is retroactive. And grants an additional 50% XP for each codex entry found. So yeah, let's take history knowledge, and then the next time we get something, I'll do exclusive training, because that'll help me work through my poison tree like I want. That'll actually be pretty useful. Right, let's check our big long war table missions. So, the name of our enemy. A copy of the Liberalum tome, the Dorian Sword, arrived at Skyhold, along with a number of items ranging from rare manuscripts to grimoires for magisters long dead. They came with a letter from the Grand Archivist, apologizing profusely and stating a hope his gifts will be of benefit to the Inquisition. It may take some time for Dorian to go through the tome, but he seems optimistic that something within will prove of use. I wonder if I have to go speak to him about that then to get the follow-up of that quest. This is our Grey Wardens. We sent them on a mission. Inquisitor, Marquis Buffon has been killed, along with Lady Lagaspe and her Venatori allies. Thanks to Sister Liliana's scouts, we were able to gain covert entry into the fortress, although the Venatori still managed to use their magic against the Grey Wardens to significant effect. I regret to inform you that after recent actions, the Grey Wardens have suffered too many losses to be of any further assistance. The last warriors died fighting for the Inquisition in good faith. I have sent their personal effects to Weishaupt. That is super unfortunate, and I don't remember if there is even a happy ending to that. I don't remember if you can even make them survive and live that. Perhaps it would make sense that you would be able to, but I don't know for a fact, because we only didn't do the smart thing one time. We sent Cullen on that one mission and they got ambushed by mercenaries. Maybe that is what went wrong there. Destroy Adamant Fortress. The chargers were able to tear down what was left of Adamant Fortress. The demons could have been a problem, but the support forces Commander Cullen dispatched kept them off our backs quite nicely. With the extra time the Inquisition forces gave us, we were able to salvage a few interesting items from the wreckage of Adamant, including an old map of the surrounding area with Grey Warden supply caches marked. Hopefully it comes in handy. Lieutenant Cremesius Aclasi. So let's take a look around our war table and figure out what we actually want to do here. An offer of help on their terms. A letter on dark vellum with obviously dwarven markings. A hole in the surface's precious sky. Not our concern, but the thing that did it. If this Magister shit really brought the Blight and the Darkspawn, we're no friend of that. Follow these instructions, and you'll catch your enemy sleeping. Tell your soldiers not to leave the main tunnel. That's your only warning. Binthus Warhelm Kalsharak. They hold their secrets dear. Do as they say, no more, no less. They can have their secrecy, but we don't know the threat on the other side of their passage. I'd send double that to even a threat of Venatori. Potential relations with another dwarven Tig would be far more beneficial than a minor strike at the Venatori. At the least, send ambassadors with our soldiers. I think we are going to do exactly as they ask.
Inquisitor.
I'm not going to mess with Kalsharak. I think they know what they want, and if they were willing to let us do something else down there, they would have offered. That's what I think. Regardless of whether Cole is a demon or a spirit, he remains vulnerable to Venatori binding magic. The Amulet of the Unbound, used by Raveni Seers, is said to protect spirits from such magic. However, finding such an amulet in this part of the world will be difficult. My Raveni contacts say these amulets are held dear, but to protect spirits from the breach, they are willing to help us. We'll send Josie on that. that's not the kind of thing where I'm not willing to let somebody else help us, right? That's like outside information that I'm okay with being outside. Some Ravani amulet, that could mean 1,000 things. We're not exposing anything of ourselves by taking help there, I don't think. Alright, let us go back to the Hissing Wastes. We did basically clear out half of the map last episode, so now we can just fast travel to this camp and then push our way on up. We have Sand and Ruin, this is the Venatori presence, and I think somewhere down there too is also the dragon that I was talking about. So we'll go to this camp and then we'll start pushing our way up the mountain. We have to climb one of the mountains that the Venatori were complaining about in a letter. They said it's not a real mountain and was only called such by people who don't know what real mountains look like. So I guess we'll decide for ourselves if it's actually a mountain or not. Let's go get the login stand in the rift. Should be a good place to start for the episode. I know at this point I already said it a bunch, but this is such a pretty map. I love being here. It has such a relaxing vibe. Like, it's 1 in the morning for me right now, and just running around this desert all quiet and serene with the moon. It just matches so well. And this location makes me happy. It speaks to me. Probably Venatori in this little ditch, right? It looks like a Venatori camp. No, that was just a bug for probably the August ram, right? That's probably what it was. Let's grab this rift on our way. I don't know if up there is what they're referring to. That all looks like a mountain to me. I think whoever called that a mountain was right on the money. Down here or just the stand? There's my Venatori scum. 2 mages or just 1? I think it's 2. Come here, bitch. You are gonna have such a worse time when I get poison weapons. I'm actually excited to try and see how poison weapons goes. Usually I don't bother because what we get out of the box with this is just so absurd that I'm okay to leave it where it is, but I think for this time, I'm actually going to try it. Again, it's the upkeep that I usually don't like to take on myself, having to constantly, because it only lasts for, I think, 10 seconds. So every 10 seconds during a fight, you have to pop poison weapons. But the flat buff itself of making Sunder and Poison last longer is just a benefit. Even if I don't end up popping poison weapons, my Sunder from my throwing knives will last longer, so should be fun. Having Varric in the party when we had to go back to Valimar is actually what convinced me to do that. Seeing his poison effects all over the floor, and the speed at which they seemed to be dying due to it was what convinced me to try it. Always the Despair Demon that's the last to die. You little bastards. Still left. You good now? I'm far enough away that I won't aggro them by doing this. Something I've noticed that if you pop the stun on them but you're close by, they'll just switch targets to you even if they weren't looking at you before. I wondered why he was taking it like a champ. He's a walk softly enemy. Yeah, I was also thinking about dropping Explosive Arrow. You probably heard me talk about that the other episode, but I was thinking about that more in between, and I actually can't because you need Explosive Shot for Pincushion. And Pincushion is actually really good. The more attacks you have on the same enemy, the consecutive damage buff you get from it. So Like arrow 1 is normal damage, arrow 2 it'll be 5% bonus, arrow 3 is like 10% at 15. I forget what it stacks up to, but that's what pincushion does. And you only get pincushion by having explosive shot, so we wouldn't be able to drop explosive shot for the point refund. But with the extra point from that Inquisition perk, and then if we can find like an amulet of power from a quest or something, then we'll have plenty of leftover points. Just put that over there. It has to be up there, what they were talking about with the mountain. There's like the obvious path right there too. I guess we'll head up the mountain since we're here. I'll do whatever this is in front of me and then we'll just go up the mountain. See what's going on up there. This looks like it might be a tomb. It's Fennec. Not that serious, everybody. I don't even know how they aggroed to that, but calm down. Vandal Aria. I've been watching Game of Thrones too recently. Just rewatching, not watching for the first time. That show was so fucking good for the first like 5 seasons. Incredible. I'm like halfway through season 2 right now on my rewatch, and it is so good. I missed that show before it fell off a cliff. I have a hot take about that actually. I actually think that show fell off a cliff and died with Tywin Lannister. I think that's when that show became kind of caca, but I know a lot of people think it was good all the way up until the end. I think season 5 is when it started to go insane and smoke itself.
All men are the work of our Maker's hands, from the lowest slaves to the highest kings.
How
Fancy
did you
meeting
get
you
over
again.
here so quickly?
Blessed are those that walk in the sight of the Maker.
Yeah, there might be something funny going on with you, huh? Something a little strange. What do we have here?
Completely buried. What now?
The Venatori want these tombs. Let's see if they found another way in.
A dusty note. Solanus. 4 slaves injured and 10 crushed under the rock. We couldn't excavate this entrance with 50 if we keep losing so many. I propose we dig down from the top. There's no other way to reach the tomb without risking another rock slide. Leave this note for the others. I must inform the overseer about our reduction in labor. Devernix. Oh, so they were just trying to tunnel in here and it all collapsed on the slaves. See what we can learn about this place through this. Blocked doorway. Avanthum. If your eyes were as sharp as your tongue, you'd have realized that we've found more than just another tomb. This is where the dwarves who built this city emerged from the deep roads. Whatever drove them here, they were determined to stay. The lowest levels were deliberately collapsed. Send Virtus back when he's done with the runes in the canyon. Do not make him lift anything heavier than a quill. That slave cost a pretty fortune. Doris. Well, somebody is getting a benefit of knowledge out of that. He'll get to work a lot less than his friends. I'm sure that would contribute to some disdain among the other slaves, right? Why do you deserve the break? Which is the other problem you would run into in a situation like that, right? Your peers would all despise you for the preferential treatment. You're one of them, but you would never feel like one of them because your owner gives you preference. And they would all hate you for it, so you just have nothing, right? No friends among your fellow slaves, and no friends among your masters either. A shitty deal. That is why they're all gonna die. Everybody involved here. That is why all the Tevintus here will fall on the end of my bow sooner or later. Man, I've been jonesing for another re-up on a lot of other games that I've already made series on, actually. It might be starting to be slightly a problem, to be honest, because I've been wanting to redo Dragon Age Origins, which is going to lead into me wanting to redo, like, Dragon Age 2, and then I'll end up wanting... I've been wanting to play Mass Effect again recently, and I'm not even done with the Mass Effect series yet, so I might eventually end up making more series on those games. Huh? Why did they all just collapse? Did I scare them? Passed out. I too much too much time in the desert without water, I guess. You guys feeling left out? There you go. Have one on the house. Put to face, bitch. Oh, you're just taking it like a champ, yeah. Go sleep. Yeah, I can't believe these two just keeled over. I have no idea what that's about. I've never seen that happen before. Note from the Silent Quarter. Solanus. There are eyes on me when the rest of the camp is asleep, or during the day when the animals rest. The ancient dwarves who inhabited this place could not have known, as they are deaf to the song of the Fade, but the veil in the wastes must have been thin even before the Elder Ones sundered open the sky. To that end, watch Carix. Your cousin has grown suspiciously quiet since we arrived. He's also been seen leaving the Overseer's camp at night. Say nothing, but follow him the next time he wanders, and report to me. Magister Gallus. Magister Gallus is interesting because the companion inside Dragon Age Veilguard is Nev Gallus. They are relatives, they're from the same bloodline. And Nev Gallus is a good guy in Veilguard. And her ancestor right there is a slave-owning piece of shit. And what is it Dorian said a couple episodes ago? It really is just the way that it is, I guess. But it is kind of funny that she's like so invested in the Tevinter resistance and daddy or cousin or whatever that is owns a slave. Journal on Dwarven Ruins. It's a paragon. The man who led the people here, who built this city, was Master Smith Paragon Faerel. Legend says he died in the Deep Roads during a war between two Taigs who used his rune work to build fantastic weapons of destruction. If he escaped up here, that means the records are wrong, or someone 1,000 years ago tried to pretty up the truth about his leaving. The most talented shaper of runes in Dwarven history, escaping with his entire house to the surface. Now that will fluff some beards in the shaper. My father said our old family business used to be near an archway that was part of Faerel's Paragon statue. I wish I could have shown him this. He's the one who wanted to believe our ancestors in the stone were still guiding us. Be nice to think it were true, old man. Yeah, that is definitely something the dwarves would want to keep hush-hush, that a paragon, which is a living god to them, took his entire house to the surface. You know, the thing they try to avoid and outcast people for. There would be a lot of people with a lot of ideas trying to follow suit if they had made that a reality. So, let's save, just because I don't know how this one works, and there might be demons afoot if I light the two entryway totems. But it seems like we're okay so far. I'm just gonna light every single brazier that we cross before we're in the actual puzzle room, just in case. And that one's already lit.
You can sense elven magic somewhere nearby.
One of his little devices is nearby. Probably under us, right? Underground somewhere. There is a runestone right there. I can see that already. What are you? Superb fire rune. Go ahead and light that one too. I don't know if you have to light all of the ones that you see, but I'm going to do it regardless, just in case. Red Templar. It would appear that the Tevinter Imperium did not have fun down here when they came down.
Working. It should be harder for tears to form here.
It doesn't look like they had a good go of it down here. Even with Templars. Red Templars aren't pushovers either, so whatever smoked them, beefy for the task. 5 out of 12 on sacrifice. There's our exit. There is no door on that side, so... Well, we're at our next puzzle, so let's go ahead and drop save. You all know the drill. But in the sand was stone, strong and true. Faerel hewed the stone and built as great as any tag in the deep. That's probably the first one, but we'll continue. Sun burned above oceans of
It's
sand,
bitterly cold, but I've never seen
and with
it
his
clear
son's
enough.
help, he ensured the tag prospered and grew. Oh, hold on. What did this say? Sun burned above oceans of sand, but in that sand. Okay, so it should be this one first then, right? And then, but in the sand was stone, strong and true. Fairel hewed the stone and built as great as any tag in the deep. And with his son's help, he ensured the tag prospered and grew. About 100 on these little puzzles. It's a pretty easy one though. It's a cool one, but it's relatively easy as long as you can make it make grammatical sense. 6 out of 12. What goodies are you bringing for me? Superb belt of melee defense. That would be good for one of my mages, honestly, probably, because they tend to get chunked when people gap close, when they pull too much aggro. So that'd probably be pretty good for one of my mages. Okay, let's stop paying attention to who keeps getting smoked the most between Vivian and Solus, and then whatever the answer to that is, then I'll put the melee defense on one of them. I've been trying to think what amulet I'd like to use. If I could get like an amulet of crit damage, that would be good, but I'm not sure if it even exists. The barrier amulet we have right now is pretty good, but we have so many like accessories here that we're just not using. Obviously, I'm gonna keep my leap and shot buffed. This is critical damage, which is huge. Belt of urgency is the attack speed, which to be honest, I don't really need anymore. Dexterity would give us... That would give us crit damage. This would give us crit chance. We don't need the melee defense. Dagger in on being hit. Third ring of armor penetration would be good, but that's a ring. Superior belt of focus would be cool. 30% focus gain to make sure that we're always getting that tier 3 focus up. Yeah, let me slot in the purple belt right now, actually. I know we already have a full guard meter, but that's just better. The attacking faster when we're below 50% health. When the hell are we ever below 50% health with my guard amulet and all the rest of the stuff that I'm using? That's never proccing. Especially with how in and out I am. If I do ever find myself at less than 50, other things have gone wrong for me to get there, right? And when you want to build, at least when I try to build, you build around the optimal situation, and then you act accordingly for the other stuff, right? Cooldown was failing me there. Which is why I want to put crit chance on the rest of my party to get my cooldowns back better, more reliably. And this is why I was thinking about guard penetration a second ago when I saw that amulet had it on it. They're all on his face, and he should get smoked. Yeah, every single one of those mines landed right on his forehead. Takes a second to get used to how to aim that, honestly. But this takes us back up into the mountains, right? Where are we at on the map? It's a shard, it doesn't matter. Shard. But we should probably start going over to that camp then. We'll stay up on the mountains and we'll just wrap around the edge. Probably the best way to look at doing that. I do have some more updates on things that will be coming up on the channel. So I did go ahead and buy Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, the remake for Black Flag. I got that so that I'll be on the channel as it releases. I'll be playing that on release, so there'll be slightly less Veilguard videos for a while with that. And then I did buy the Crisis Remastered games, and I am considering buying some real-time strategy games, but I'm not sure if any of you would be interested in watching me play a real-time strategy game. But if you would be, let me know in the comments, and I'll consider buying a couple more of them. Because I do enjoy them, things like XCOM, Lord of the Rings Third Age, if anybody remembers that old-ass game. I love turn-based strategy stuff. Yeah, Terminator Dark Fate is not turn-based, but it is RTS. Things like Total War 2, I have some fun with those. I'm not fantastic at them by any means, but I do have fun with them. We're on some kind of mountain pass here. Can I just walk up here to get that shard real quick before I wander by it, or is it too far up? Let me look. Save me coming back for this later, right? I can just waltz up for it. Beautiful. Yoink. Now, is this a death trap for me to try to take that mountain path from up here to save me walking back down, or am I just okay? Looks like I'm just okay. Very good, very good. 22 damage for that? The fall damage is excessive in this game, I think, personally. And my party is stuck somewhere, huh? Well, let's hope they come to if I run into a problem. There they are. Living a vida loca. What did I hit with my search function back here? It's Deathroot. Nobody cares about Deathroot. Yeah, I think this would definitely count as a fucking mountain. I don't know what the Venatori was talking about, but we're not even at the peak yet, and you can see how high we are. This isn't even the top yet. I think I want to skirt left first for the temple right there with the lights, but we'll see what the actual path of this place is. Because I don't want to start hopping up the mountainside if I can't. Yeah, there's a path right there. That reminds me of Skyrim. What is the place called? The one where the Greybeards are on top of the throat of the world or mouth of the world, whatever it's called, something like that. Stone over sky. A faint inscription in ancient dwarven script is carved into the archway. Let this gate be the stone over your head. Home never forgotten, anchoring soil and sky. Explaining how the dwarves made this their home, even though it's not. That is. It's your only comment. You know, there's a lot of stray hunters mysteriously close to a lot of Venatori activity. I would be side-eyeing the crap out of them as they wandered around us. Yeah, I don't remember what the path from Skyrim is that I was talking about, but this reminds me of it like crazy. I could also be convinced to do a Skyrim playthrough, honestly, but that would be such a long series, and I would mod it. I wouldn't mod the hell out of it, but there would definitely have to be like some armor sets that I'm fond of from mods included in that playthrough. But I could do it, right? I mean, I did a Oblivion Let's Play, which in hindsight was a little rushed, unfortunately. I might mess around with that more in the future too, because that's a fun game as well. The mosaic piece. I like revisiting things, particularly if I didn't feel like I did them justice. Okay, so then we just put around the back of this mountain, right, for our camp. And I guess back here is where the Venatori are, which is why they were complaining about having to climb the thing, right? Because they were bitching about having to come up and over every single time. Yeah, that certainly counts as mountain to me. I already see the Venatori right there. So what is actually on my map here? That's Hole in the Hissing Waste. Is this Sand and Ruin? Or is this Sand and Ruin? That's Sand and Ruin. Okay, so we are safe to walk forward and grab this without starting anything that I don't want to start yet. You look like the mage. Enjoy, gentlemen. I think the camp belongs to me now, right? By order of the Inquisition. Sketch of a Colossus tomb. Venatori orders. Members of the Venatori, we are close to unearthing the secrets the old dwarves buried here. The Elder One will doubtless be pleased with our success, but be vigilant. While our work has gone well, the Inquisition and their false herald were seen traveling towards the wastes. Travel together and go armed. Trevelyan may have no magic other than the anchor, but the damnable rogue has eluded death more times than can be natural. We cannot allow the Inquisition to take this place from us. If you are pressed, retreat to our main camp behind the Sunstop Mountains. Extra guards will be posted. The Elder One will prevail. Overseer Ulix. That is next on my to-die list.
That's the last of them here.
An excellent watchtower. With a strong pair of eyes, you could spot a mouse crossing the sand.
The Inquisition could use this place then.
Yeah, you think? Alright, let's see. Yeah, Sand and Ruin is all the way up there now. That's the sizable Venatori presence. That's Shards in the Waste. And is this the tomb? Where would the tomb be? Well, we've been everywhere aside from this way. And I guess down here too, so... Let's go get the last Inquisition camp, and then we can call this episode where it is, I think. And then we can finish Sand and Ruin next time, because there's the dragon fight to take into account there too. Flames of Our Lady.
It is
Cool,
so
that stuff up
dry,
there.
my fingertips are peeling.
Oh no, not the fingertips. Her bougie nature is struggling to keep up with the desert, I suppose. Okay, it really is quite the climb down this place if you want to come off on the other side. We have had to hit so many ladders here. I'm glad I got that camp before I decided to come down here. An elven artifact nearby on the mountain. It's gotta be this way, right? Down here. To be honest, Solus. Oh, that's where it is. It's right underneath us, I think. Is it? Yes, it is.
The wards are working. It should be harder for tears to form here.
Whatever that is, these things remind me of the little orbs that the Leviathan in Mass Effect 3 has to exert its control over people in the wild. That's what that stuff reminds me of. I don't know what they are, but they obviously do something with Veil energy, right? With the Fade. It somehow stabilizes it and makes rifts less likely to appear in certain places. Venatori. Let's give him a hello from the mountaintop. Hold those for me. Ah, that was a bad throw. Bad toss. That should be a good toss. Yeah, that's a very good throw. When you get it right, it goes really right. It's just when you get it wrong, it sucks and it wastes all your stamina. That is the first time we killed a lurker this playthrough, apparently. We got 8 points, so before I forget what to do with that, let us go to here. And I will finally buy poison weapons. And we'll put poison weapons where caltrops is. That way I can just pop it real quick before we get into the action. Or maybe it will be easier to put it next to my throw everything. We'll try that. We'll try it next to throw everything. So it's going to be like 6, 1, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, and then cycle. I already learned my lesson from not having fucking tackle and leap and shot on 1 and 2. My brain just doesn't work right. It's not like muscle memory to have it in that order for me from all the playthroughs I've done with this class. And then next level up, we can get the perks for poison weapons to make it better. I think the only place that has... No, the Emerald Graves probably hasn't too. I think we have 2 locations worth of shards left to do before we can go do that island. We're making really good progress with this playthrough. I will get those riffs off camera just for time's sake. Yeah, we're making really good progress with this. Alrighty, and that is our last camp. We are going to have to figure out where that final tomb is. But in between this and the next episode, I'll take care of these rifts. And I guess if I find the tomb, then I'll mark it on the map. And then I'll catch you when we're ready to do it. So thank you for watching. As always, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like and a comment. And I will see you soon with more Dragon Age Inquisition. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Peace.